Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Agent Xerxes here, and before we get into today's video, there is something I'd like to say. I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if you didn't know, only 25% of you guys are subscribed to us, so please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the video. If you haven't seen our previous deep dive on Dragon Slayer magic, I would highly suggest you do. That video goes into more of the powers and lore of Dragon Slayers as a whole, which will help you understand this deep dive even more. There will be a link in the description below, or you can click on the icon in the top right corner. Natsu Dragneel is one of the main protagonists in the anime Fairy Tail. Natsu is a lean, muscular man with spiky pink hair, black eyes, a slightly tan skin tone, and has sharp canine teeth. Natsu's main outfit he usually wears consists of sleeveless, gold-trimmed, black waistcoat that is left untucked, showing off his upper chest. He wears a black cloth around his waist held up with a belt. He also wears black open-toed sandals and the scale-patterned scarf he received from his adoptive father, Igneel. He has also been seen to wear a rolled-up comforter strapped across his back, though rarely carries it in battle. In the year X791, Natsu's attire receives minor changes. He now wears an open-collared, one-sleeved long overcoat version of his original waistcoat, which is instead tucked in and zipped. The sleeve covers Natsu's left arm with a fox leather brown armband, leaving his fairy tale mark as well as his entire right arm consequently exposed. Natsu continues wearing Igneel's scarf and retains the same lower clothing. He now wears his wristband on his right wrist. After his clothes were taken during his capture by Tartaros and later release, he now wears a new set of clothing. Natsu wears in essence a black long-sleeve jacket often left open, untucked, and no undershirt, much like his original waistcoat, with light-colored trimming. He has the sleeves rolled up to his wrists, black baggy pants held by a brown leather belt with a silver buckle around his waist, and a pair of dark brown high-calf boots. There are several yellows, skull-like patterns on the jacket and pants are torn and patched, and his arms and legs wrapped in bandages. Later he discards this outfit in favor of his old one, although he keeps the bandages on his right arm, which hide a draconian tattoo, holding a portion of Igneel's power. Following the one-time use of Igneel's force, the symbol disappears and Natsu abandons the bandage. Natsu is the younger brother of Xerath Dragneel. Having died 400 years ago, Xerath sought to revive him and was able to do it successfully with the power of Aetherius. Since Natsu is a first-generation Dragon Slayer, he has motion sickness whenever he is on transportation or thinks of it. Natsu does not get motion sickness when he flies unhappy because he considers happy as a friend, not transportation. Yeah, I know it makes no sense when you think about it, but it's anime logic. Natsu has the personality of a man-child and is very stupid, but when he fights, he has a mind of steel. Natsu loves to fight and is very reckless about how he controls his power. Even in regular street fights, he may accidentally destroy a whole house without realizing it. Natsu will rarely back out of a fight when something gets him into rough situations. Natsu tends to be carefree around his guild members, except for Grey Fullbuster and Urza Scarlet. Natsu always gets in arguments with Grey pretty much over anything, which sometimes becomes heated and physical. Natsu also fears Urza Scarlet due to her two-sided nature of being beautiful and lovely to strict and angry. Natsu sees Urza as a hateful satanic demon of some sort, and when she is around, he and Grey usually tend to act differently due to her violent, snappy nature. Natsu also loves to try to prove his strength to others. At many points of time, he challenges all of the Fairy Tail's S-class mages, such as Gildarts, Urza Scarlet, Laxus, and Mirajane. Despite losing to them all of the time, he is never bitter about it, and still considers them as family. Let's get into Natsu's movesets and abilities. Natsu is very experienced with his dragon slaying magic, due to him being taught it by Igneel, and uses this to create a wide variety of attacks. As with all dragon slayers, Natsu can consume anything that's his element, repolishing his magic supply and amping his attacks. The heat and power of his fire vary on how his emotional state is, due to him using the flames of emotions. His fire in general is comparable to the powers of an actual dragon alone, being able to melt steel with just his body heat alone. We also see strong feats of his fire when he can evaporate a lake with his body heat alone against a fight with one of the Spriggan 12 named Jason Statham. We can also see another feat of his fire when he returns to the Grand Magic Games arena 2 years after Fairy Tail gets disbanded. Natsu was able to cause the whole arena to melt with everyone's clothes. With this, Natsu can also manipulate his flames into limbs, being able to grab onto objects, which we see when he fights against Aragorn. Natsu's most signature move is his Fire Dragon Roar, which he lets out a roar which launches fire out of his mouth, making a projectile. When Natsu says, "Fire Dragon's Claw," he ignites his feet in flames, making his kicks more potent than before, and can also be used as rocket propulsion. Natsu's next moves the Fire Dragon's Iron Fist, which is when he ignites his fist with fire, enhancing the power of his punches. The Fire Dragon's wing attack is when he rushes towards an opponent and grabs them, before setting his hands on fire, being able to send the opponent flying. Natsu can also ignite his whole body on fire and charge at targets at high speeds, headbutting them for devastating damage. He calls this the Fire Dragon's Sword Horn. Natsu's Fire Dragon's Brilliant Flame has 2 different ways he uses it. The first way is when he catches both of his hands on fire and slams them together, making an explosion. And the second way, he makes a big fireball that he throws at the target. Natsu uses Fire Dragon's Elbow, enabling him to move at high speeds at his opponent, increasing his punches by significant amounts. And finally, his last move, the Fire Dragon's Grip Strike, where he grabs his enemy and supports his arm with his other. Natsu blasts the foe at point-blank range. Before we get back into the dive, I would like to say that we've got a third channel called Anime Theory. Anime Theory mainly focuses on a large variety of mind-boggling anime theories. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we are a secondary channel to our main channel, We the Celestials. We the Celestials is full of fun what-if stories. If you have the sugar tooth for great storytelling, please give that channel a visit as well. If you are interested in the content we share with all channels, make sure you click the icon on the top right corner, or check the description below for a link to the channel. Now with that out of the way, let's get back into the dive. Natsu also has his Dragon Slayer secret arts, which all Dragon Slayers also have. All of Natsu's Dragon Slayer's secret arts attacks all share the same name. All share the name Crimson Lotus. Natsu's first Dragon Slayer secret arts is called Crimson Lotus Fire Dragon's Fist, which is just him throwing rapid Fire Dragon's Iron Fists, which cause massive explosions on contact. We can see him using the spell to defeat Gajeel Red Fox, who wields Iron Dragon slaying magic in their first fight. The Crimson Lotus exploding flame blade is when Natsu spins his hands in a circular motion, which creates a torrent hitting his opponents with multiple attacks. This move tends to be the finishing move he uses against his opponents, such as when he defeated Loxus with the help of Gajeel. His final and most potent attack of 3 secret arts is the hidden fire form, Crimson Phoenix Blade. When Natsu uses this, he ignites his body in fire and charges at his opponent, cutting them into the air and then combining with the Fire Dragon's Sword Horn. Along with his secret arts, Natsu has obtained some different transformations, which utilize various kinds of magic at once. We can see the use of this when Natsu can eat Zancro God Flames, which he couldn't consume until he emptied his magic, making a stomach vessel to contain the magic. In this state, we see him use the Dragon God's Brilliant Flame, which is just a Fire Dragon's Brilliant Flame, but with black and red flames. This power-up was used in only one episode, and we have never seen him use it again after this fight. The only transformation he has kept is his Lightning Fire Dragon mode. Natsu was able to obtain this mode when eating Loxus' lightning during the battle against Hades, which enhanced Natsu's power considerably. When Natsu attacks in this mode, the opponent gets shocked and burnt by lightning back to back. The moves Natsu uses in this mode are the same moves we talked about before. This form may be powerful, but this leaves him very drained after using it. After Natsu unlocked his second origin, we see he can use the Lightning Fire Dragon mode with less strain on his body. Natsu also unlocks another one-timer episode transformation called the Black Fire Dragon mode. After absorbing the flames of Dark Regulus, Natsu is capable of combining these flames with their own for destructive effects. However, consumption of the flames of Dark Regulus rendered Natsu temporarily immobile. He soon recovered and became able to use the Dragon mode at will. Natsu could use his exploding flame blade of darkness after absorbing the flames of Dark Regulus. Natsu can use Eclipse Leo's spell to blast away his opponents by combining his flames with the dark ones. Natsu's Darkness Phoenix Blade is an alternative version of the Crimson Lotus Phoenix Blade. When Natsu uses his Darkness Phoenix Blade, he gathers the flames of his Fire Dragon Slayer magic and the dark flames of Dark Regulus in his hand, and then cloaks his body in flames before rushing at his target of Desire. After 10 months of training to store and manipulate Igneel's remaining power bequeathed to him, Natsu is capable of using the power of the Fire Dragon King mode. According to Natsu himself, this mode is durable enough for him to defeat Zeref. However, its full potential depended on the remnants of Igneel's power, which, upon activation, could not be recovered and used again. Even with the absence of Igneel's power, Natsu can still utilize this mode using his potential as a substitute, though it is nowhere near as powerful as before. When Natsu uses his Fire Dragon's King Demolition Fist, he first charges his fist, releasing a tremendous amount of fire in the process. After a brief delay, he punches the target with an immense force so strong that it shatters even the biggest of his foes to pieces. The Fire Dragon King's roar is an enhanced and empowered version of his Fire Dragon's roar that Natsu used to take down an entire battalion's worth of soldiers of the Alvarez Empire and destroyed a vast space of Earth in the process. When Natsu uses his Fire Dragon's King Purgatory, he releases a tremendous amount of fire all over his body, while intensely burning his target and everything around him before creating a spherical explosion. Finally, when Natsu uses the Fire Dragon's King Brilliant Flame, Natsu charges up a dark ball of fire from his palms and focuses the blast in the direction of his target. Natsu also has a Dragon Force, as all Dragon Slayers do. He was able to get his by consuming Etherian, or Flame of Rebuke. Dragon Force is an ability that a Dragon Slayer can attain, and it has been seen that whenever a Dragon Slayer goes into the Dragon Force, their power becomes comparable to that of a real dragon. Natsu is the first known first-generation Dragon Slayer to enter Dragon Force without consuming external sources. His Dragon Force is also strong enough to be able to burn off Zeref's Anchorcerum black magic that was being used to restrain him. By attaining Dragon Force through the flames of the Fire Dragon God, Natsu's appearance altered to feature the same claws he possessed when using his END power. Natsu overall may seem like your average shonen protagonist from the outside, but when you delve into his lore, you can find many fantasizing things. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer of this video, and the editors for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video, and hit up one of the heads of those areas. We're always looking for members to join us. That's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you liked the video. Until next time, peace out, mortals. Have an amazing
eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through.